some insight on this and play with it sometimes.
Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's insightful. Sometimes it's like, man, she got that wrong.
Yeah.
I do occasionally.
I haven't heard a whole lot of those. I've definitely heard people that you helped, and they make sure they let us know about it. So
Definitely. Producer X.
I had to actually text Janet this weekend because I was putting money down on some of the football games, and she told me that I was going to lose.
Well, you told me after.
I told her after I placed the bet.
You're supposed to do that before.
Now, she did bring up a good point in that whole thing with how the quarterback got sacked a lot, and it was like not going to be a great day for him.
The quarterback was going to hate that day, and I just couldn't imagine how you can win if the quarterback walks off the field mad. And every time that guy got knocked down, I'm thinking, how many more? 9 times.
Yeah.
And still they won. So, yeah, I'm not always right.
That's the way it works.
She said she hoped she would be wrong, and she was,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with. Won me some money.
Yeah.
And the success stories, we get plenty of those. We don't want you to bet the house on a
No.
football game.
Oh, no.
But it is lots of fun, all right? So,
Definitely.
Star Goddess, what do you got as far as the theme going?
We got a lot going on, man. There's a lot of stuff going on in Capricorn. First of all, Venus, the planet of love, still retrograde. And it's retrograde until Friday. So as far as the love questions go, you're not really going to have an answer one way or the other until Venus goes direct on Friday to find. Because you and I are not the only ones that have gone through this. I've talked to a bunch of people that just went out of the blue. I've had, blast from my past come calling. What do I do about it? And it's like, take it under advisement. Depends on where it is. So, but that stops on Friday. That's the first thing. The second thing is Mercury, the planet of communication, is still retrograde. And I actually heard during the NFL game one of the announcers go, wow, what a miscommunication.
Oh, yeah.
You texted me right after that. I was like, I heard the same thing.
Yeah.
I know if I got it coming from Janet, she's talking about retrograde.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. And I saw that. So Mercury is still, of course, still retrograde. But then the big news is that today, Mars, the planet of ego-oriented projection, goes into the sign of Capricorn, where it will be for the next 6 weeks or so. And Mars has been in Sagittarius for the last 6 weeks, which is also why I thought that the Omicron thing would be done, starting to be done this week as Mars leaves Sagittarius. That hopefully that stuff is over too. And so with Mars being in Capricorn, it's the fight is on. Mars has not been in that sign for 22 months, so all of us can look back just about 2 years or so and see similar things going on now that were going on then. And if we resolve them, great. But if we didn't resolve them, we can expect to resolve them over the next 6 weeks or so. And it depends how that's going to impact each one of us individually. It depends on where Capricorn is in our charts. And that's what I'm here to tell you, is where that is and where you can expect the fight to be on.
So you think back,
Around 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
just about 2 years
right
ago.
before everything shut down.
And also right before we hired Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago.
That was.
You get a second chance if you play
You
this
do.
right. You might be able to
Yes, and
make
you get
up for this.
and you have
All
the
right.
experience of 2 years worth of experience on what you if you did not capitalize on it the last time, you get another chance to capitalize. And if you did capitalize on it, you go, okay, what can I do that can make that even better this time? Which is why I think he's coming back.
Okay.
Tell you the truth, I do.
I thought that was the one good thing of the Bucks leaving. I'm like, I think this solidifies more of a chance of keeping him, right?
Yeah.
Riding off into the sunset with another dub,
Yeah, exactly. That guy's a Leo. I don't think he's going to go out with that on his resume, to tell you the truth.
Right.
I've never met a Leo in my life that would go, oh yeah, that's acceptable to me.
Crash, is that acceptable to you?
It's not.
That's what I asked.
There you
Exactly.
go.
You would have to come back.
I've got a feeling it has a lot to do with that lady in his life. Might have something to do with
Yeah,
that.
she's a Cancer, though.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, too, she supports him, right?
Yeah. Of course, she supports him, and I think that she'll go along with it too.
All right.
So we'll
I
see.
hope so.
I think because I would hate to be. I just don't want to watch the Buccaneers without him. It was, 13 games, come on.
And I think about all the bad things I said about that guy back in the day.
It was so funny because it was about a week ago, actually, that popped up on the Facebook timeline I was sharing with him. I showed him. He posted this video. Remember the Tom Brady hand incident way back in about 4 years ago?
And
he was talking about, saying it was Lee press on nails or something. He had some funny joke. It was hilarious. And it's like,
It was
4
rotten,
years
but it
later,
was.
like, oh, man, not anymore.
Unbelievable.
He's probably sitting there writing everyone's name down. He's like, all right.
Yeah.
If you.
Not going to forget this. Exactly. So, I think it's important to know where that energy is going to be. We are in the sign of Aquarius now. Oh, and then the sun went into Aquarius, while we were gone last week.
Okay.
So we got a lot of stuff going on. But for Aquarians everywhere, they just want to take a step back and take probably a pretty deep breath and figure out what am I going to do next is really what this energy is for them. They've achieved a bunch of goals and objectives, and now they're going to find out just how well they've done with that. So it's sort of, we want to take this thing kind of under advisement, like the Panthers coach is going to do that too. He's an Aquarian, going to want to step back and say, I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this. It's that type of energy. Who else? The Jaguars.
Yeah.
He's going to be taking a look at that too.
That owner, yeah, he's got
He's got something to do. He's got nothing to lose. You should hire Tim Tebow. I mean, they can still lose, but at least there'll be people in the stands. You know what I mean?
You just broke the news. Tim Tebow is going to be the quarterback or the
The
coach.
coach.
Jacksonville
He
Jaguars
can't do
right
a
here.
work. Do you think he could do a worse job than Urban Meyer?
You have that's all great points.
Two
All great
words.
points.
Antonio Brown.
There you go. Well, it's funny. The whiny guys, and I'll probably get a lot of nasty letters for this, but do you think it's a coincidence both those guys are cancers? Yeah, whiny guys. It's not my fault. Yeah,
Gotcha.
okay. Yeah. So, but for Aquarians everywhere, the next 6 weeks are going to be a time of kind of taking a step back and kind of regrouping. And I don't know what that means for Sean McVay because he's an Aquarian, the Rams coach. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I'm not going to bet on them.
Okay.
Not this year.
Okay.
So for Aquarians everywhere, just time to kind of take a step back and kind of regroup. For Pisces, this is great energy for Pisces. They get to achieve a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective, and they get to do it in great style. Jupiter's in their sign for the first time in 12 years, and so it really bodes pretty well for them in as far as achieving a goal. But it's going to take the group to help them get there. They're not going to be able to do it individually. Ben Roethlisberger found that out when the group did not help him, get to the playoffs, that kind of deal.
And again, so they've had a chance at this before. And
They have.
Get to redo it and go for their goal again.
It is a do-over with better information, more information this time, and more importantly, the support of the group,
And
which
that's
is
the
what they
team.
didn't have
Yeah.
before.
Okay.
So that's the thing that Pisces are really looking forward to. And for them, it's their best new start in 12 years. So they really can make a bunch of really cool things happen, especially with this energy.
So if you know one of those,
Yeah,
let
tell
me
them
know.
now
You
is your
check out
time.
The podcast.
Yeah, now is definitely your time. For Aries, this is tough. Capricorn energy is tough for Aries and for Aries risings because Capricorn kind of squares their sign. And for them, it's not particularly gratifying energy, which is what Tom Brady just found out because he's got a moon in Aries. It's just not the most gratifying of energies. It seems that Aries have to fight professionally. Is sort of the professional fight is on for Aries everywhere. And I'm not really sure what the outcome is going to be.
So
this is for the next 6 weeks?
Yeah, for the next 6 weeks, Mars is at the top of their
Mercury
chart.
retrograde, now this.
Well,
Yeah.
and so what that tells me is that there's some information that's come down the pike about professional stuff with them.
Yeah.
It's not really accurate information yet. It hasn't been written in stone, and that the Aries gets to fight for their rights to make that happen.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it's sort of like there's going to be a challenge to them. They can overcome it.
Right.
I'm trying to think, isn't there somebody went on the Bucks organization's Aries is
In the Bucks?
in the Bucks organization is I was
No, Jason, the general manager is an Aquarian.
Okay, all right.
That's who you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
okay.
he's an Aquarian. No.
Good.
Yeah, no, he's not going anywhere. The only Aries coach, unfortunately, is the Bills coach.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he's feeling pretty crummy about that, right? And the Jets. I mean, they don't have any reason to feel bad because they weren't even in it. But the head coach of those two guys, those are the only two. I think they're the only two Aries head coaches.
Gotcha.
So they're not feeling too good right now watching TV. I'm afraid not. And Bill Belichick, I know. I'm just so happy that he got to watch both quarterbacks he got rid of playing in January, and he is watching them from his couch. So I'm really very happy about that. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's
He should not have treated either one of those guys badly, because that's the upshot when you do stuff like that. But for Aries everywhere, the professional fight is on, but they win the fight. That's the important thing for Aries to realize. They
Light
do.
at the end of the tunnel. Keep it going.
Yes, winning the
keep
fight
going.
winning the fight is very, very important to me, I think. Those are the only Aries. I think we only have two. Oh, the Patriots. Patriots, Bill Belichick.
Ah.
How's that feeling right now, Bill?
maybe that's what I was just thinking of.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's the Aries feeling, watching both guys he got rid of.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
his guy, is he even playing?
Deliberating.
Yeah, that guy, yeah,
The
no.
future of everything.
Yes, saying, how did I get here? I bet. But for Aries, the upshot is they end up fighting for their rights. For Taurus is fabulous energy for Taurus. Genuinely
Keep it up,
yes.
Janet.
I know. I had to look right over at you when I said that because I don't get to say that very often.
So it almost seems contradictory because I'm Aries
You're
rising,
right.
and then it's like.
Well, that says is that what that says as far as your personality goes, there will be some professional challenges.
Okay.
But the upshot is with Mars and Mercury and Venus all in your ninth house of long distance travel, legal matters, important matters, contracts, negotiations, all go very favorably for the Taurus.
Oh.
Which is really good for you.
All right.
I don't think, unfortunately, that starts until Mercury goes direct on the 3rd of February.
Okay.
And before you know it.
Yeah, that's right around the corner. And I imagine that's when Adele will be able to go back to her residency as a Taurus, because she's trying to do a residency in Las Vegas and everybody's out, everybody's sick, so it's quite the fight. But I think that I think that Taurus ends up doing very, very well with this energy. And sometime in the next 2 weeks, they get a piece of information that they've been waiting for that is really very, very good news about a legal matter, an educational, some really important matter gets resolved very favorably for the Taurus.
Oh.
And even if they don't think it right now.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
There's something that came down the pike, and I rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, once again.
Yes, once
some
again.
legal
Yes,
matters,
but
that trial getting pushed back.
Yes,
Another pre-trial.
Yes,
Ugh.
but the upshot is over the next 6 weeks or so, you should get a lot of gratification out of that.
Wow.
So that's the upshot, which is good for Tauruses. For Geminis, I gotta tell you, this is rough energy for Geminis, man.
Hey, Janet.
I know, it's financial stuff. You did really well the last 6 weeks, though, didn't you? I mean,
such
Mars
and
is
such.
opposing your sign. You should have done pretty well with that energy.
Can you fudge the Gemini sometimes, Star Goddess, for him?
I do. I try sometimes not to tell him this
There
stuff.
are days where I sit there and listen to it, and I'm like, dang it,
She
Janet, I
hates
gotta
him.
walk out.
Yeah. But see, when I'm writing it, I'm usually thinking about Donald Trump, not you.
Oh, there you go.
Because he's got big challenges coming on financially. Stuff gets revealed. The biggest thing about the 8th house is that you get to face your fears. And so whatever it is that you're afraid of is what's going to pop up and demand that you deal with it. So, and for you, it's pretty much just about being broke, isn't it?
I'm always broke.
Yeah, well, that's probably going to continue for the next 6 weeks.
That's
or so.
Ow,
You
man.
seem to handle being broke good. You never complain about anything, really.
I'm a frugal man. I live on a very fixed income, all right?
You're a single man. That's half of it right there.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk off.
We're breaking news here? Breaking story on the podcast?
I was going to ask
I need to mention that the 8th house also rules sex.
She's not wrong.
So I think that there'll be some activity in that area.
There's activity.
There you go. Best you can hope for.
Man, this is-
You know?
Wow.
She's a Cancer, so maybe we can just talk about it if you want to talk about it.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm definitely putting this in the summary.
Go ahead.
Yes, but Geminis are fixing to spend a boatload of money, and something that they had hoped would not be revealed gets revealed.
Well,
Which-
it just got revealed.
She listened to our show?
She does.
Uh-oh.
I know. It's
Okay.
great.
Okay. So now I'm going to get to Cancer.
Yeah, that's what she is.
Okay, well, so Mars is in their 7th house of partners and intimate one-to-one relationships.
Uh-oh.
So over the next 6 weeks
Oh,
or so, Cancers everywhere are going to be trying to figure out who is their partner, who are their one-to-one relationships going to be with.
Okay.
In Antonio Brown's case, it's none. It's no one. Unfortunately for him, but
That's what it is. Antonio.
yeah, Antonio. What a jerk. I gotta tell you.
Crash is very
To me,
salty.
the big difference, Cancers to me are the most whiny of all the signs of the zodiac. No one whines as much as a Cancer. And to hear Antonio Brown doing that, he's like, oh, my ankle hurt. And I'm watching Lenny, who's got a torn hamstring, saying, this is the championship.
Yeah.
I got to give it my all. And I watched him score touchdowns and then grab the back of his leg as he walked off, as he limped off. But he played. You know what I mean? I look at the two and I think Capricorns are a lot tougher than Cancers. But it's good that she's a girl. Because Cancers, it's better if Cancers are girls rather than boys. Otherwise, the boys end up like OJ. OJ, yeah, he's a Cancer. David Hasselhoff's a Cancer. Mike Tyson's a Cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of whiny guys. So, but for them, it's all about partnerships and intimate one-to-one relationships. So, you may be casual, but the Cancer will not be.
I better buckle up, is what you're telling me.
No, I'm just saying, know what you're getting into.
All good info, Janet.
Two hearts that beat as one.
I didn't know if I should say anything during the podcast because I didn't want all of
You
this.
didn't want this happening because you can see that this was going to be the outcome.
No.
It's a matter of Cancer is very much with Mars in their 7th house. It's sort of like a play me or trade me kind of deal.
Okay.
You know,
My
so
favorite podcast of 2020.
so far. For Leos, lots of activity with work,
All
work,
right.
health, responsibilities. I think that health issues go very, very well for Capricorns. They feel for the first time in 22 months like their energy is really there. I mean, do you feel that? You had a rough year.
Yeah, it was a rough year. I feel like things are going in the right direction. I think there's some hurdles there, and I'll become a hurdler during
Yeah,
this whole
but
thing.
those are you're going to hurdle. I think that
Yeah.
you did the hurdles over when Mars was in Sagittarius,
Yeah.
and now that Mars is in Capricorn, you can channel that energy and into really pushing yourself
Yes.
and seeing how far you can or how far you've come.
I want to. I want
I
to pull the trigger
genuinely
on
think
some
over
of
the next
stuff,
6
yeah.
weeks or so,
Okay.
there's a huge influx of energy headed your way.
Okay.
And that takes the things that you've been creatively doing for the last 5 weeks or so, because Leos have been really busy the last 5 weeks or so dealing with love and their feelings about love and their creativity and creative stuff, and all of that now can turn into a job for them.
So many good ideas. It's hard to pull the trigger on one.
But because the time was not right. When Mars was
Right.
in Sagittarius in your 5th house, it was time to have all those creative ideas.
Yeah.
And now that Mars is in your 6th house, it's time to winnow them down into stuff that will actually work. And so when Mercury goes direct on the 3rd, after Venus goes direct next week, you'll have a really clear understanding of what can work and what won't work.
Okay.
And then be able to pull the trigger on it, because
Exciting.
you want to do it in its right time. You don't want to do it.
I kind of feel sometimes like I have a lot of good ideas, and I just put them on the shelf a little bit, trying to overthink them before I pull the trigger.
It's the Sagittarius rising in
Yeah.
you. It's like, why do today what I could put off till tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
why? But I think that all changes.
Okay.
Starting literally today, over the next 6 weeks or so, you completely revamp your work and stuff, and you can take something that started out as a passion and turn it into something more.
Okay.
So I think it's good stuff
All right.
for Leos. I
There
do.
you go.
I think Leos are kind of done with the scary stuff in their life. So for Virgos, I have to laugh.
You all
Mars,
right?
yeah, I am. Mars and Venus are both in their 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, amusements, pleasures, anything fun, anything entertaining. And with Venus retrograde, Virgos everywhere are the ones that are getting those phone calls, you know, the 2 o'clock in the morning phone call saying, you were the best thing that ever happened to me. And the Virgo goes, damn right I was. And then hang up the phone. But with Venus in Capricorn, it indicates that you need to resolve some of those issues. But the important thing is that the end of that is Virgo gets to create a really solid, stable, something that they love, whether it's a person or an idea or a child, but it's something that they love, they get to really flesh out and feel good about. So
Okay.
if you're single, if you're a single Virgo, it's a good time to attract someone. If you're a married Virgo, it's a good time to kind of iron out the differences in that. If you're a Virgo that got a blast from your past, figure out if you're still mad or not. You probably are. But that's all going to be resolved over the next 2-3 weeks or so. Their love life is really what they're interested in rather than work. So,
Interesting.
and I'm here because this is the thing I love to do the most.
Yeah.
No,
Genuinely,
having
you know.
here.
So I've been at home for the last like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Just kind of hanging out, hiding from Omicron. It's like now I'm done hiding. It's time to come out and play. And that's that kind of energy for Virgos everywhere. So it's good energy for us. For Libras, this is awful energy, and Bruce Arians, the God, will tell you that right now. You know, Mars is in their 4th house of home. Mercury's retrograde in their 4th house of home. I don't think there's anything worse than losing at home. I'd much rather lose on the road, but to lose it. And as I was driving into the station this morning, as I was coming off Ashley, you could look over and see the stadium lights were still on. And as I make the turn, I watched the stadium lights turn off, and I swear to God, I had a little tear in my eye. I was like, oh, that's the saddest thing. And
That's some timing, right?
yeah, oh, it was awful. So, but for Libras everywhere, they're going to probably take the next 6 weeks or so just to lick their wounds, just to kind of nurse that kind of thing. It's going to be the go away and leave me alone. And nothing's going to make it any better. Nothing's going to make it feel any better. The Ravens are feeling that. You know, a lot of those guys, the Bucks in particular, are feeling that because our head coach is a Libra.
I want to go golfing with that guy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think once he gets
It'd be
his
amazing.
foot fixed, you know, that's a hard thing, having it. I mean,
Achilles,
I
yeah.
love him. An Achilles tendon injury is a grievous injury.
He always
And-
talks about playing golf, so I know he wants to play.
Yeah,
Have that now,
yeah. So he
out
needs to get
early,
that fixed, you know. And I'd be happy to help him if he wants. So Mike Evans, same thing. He's a Libra sitting at home going, how the heck did this all happen? You know, I don't blame them. I'd be asking that same question myself. So that'll go on, that kind of licking your wounds, retreating, you know, kind of trying to reassess stuff. That's going to probably last a couple of weeks or so. It's not the easiest thing in the world. So I just think it's tough energy for for Libras.
And you guys, he doesn't know exactly what Tom's going to do. He's probably going, man.
What the heck's going to happen to me?
So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much stuff up in the air. And again, to Libras everywhere, I say don't make any decisions until after Mercury goes direct on February 3rd. And February 4th is when I think Tom Brady goes, oh yeah, I'm staying. That's what I think. And I think because Tom Brady is a Leo with the moon in Aries, Coach Arians is a Libra with the moon in Aries, with Jupiter going into Aries and will be in Aries next February during the Super Bowl. There's not a reason on earth we're not back there.
Bruce, if you're listening,
Yeah,
if
Dad,
you know
he
Bruce,
doesn't.
tell him about the podcast
Yeah.
here, and we're going golfing with him. All right?
Wow, if he's going to have that Achilles tendon sewn up, he should do it on Friday after Mercury goes direct.
Okay.
I'm just saying, that's the best day this week to do it. Don't do it before that.
He's got
So.
a fast golf cart, I know that.
Yes,
Oh,
he
gosh,
does.
yeah.
Yes, he does. So for Libras everywhere, it's tough energy, I'm not going to lie. For Scorpios, great energy, which makes me think about Jimmy G, how the heck he ended up in the Super Bowl. And how he ended up in the playoffs.
Here I am.
I'm here. I'm Jimmy G. Look at those dimples. But they've had Mars in their second house of money, and now it's in their third house of day-to-day living. So short distance, short duration travel for them is very favorable. They get to learn something really useful about their world is very favorable to them. And I just keep thinking, he's in the playoffs.
And
You
it
know?
seems like his teammates really like him too. It's like
He's a likable guy for a bad quarterback.
Everybody wants to
Yeah.
to pass him on, but it seems like his teammates have nothing but good things.
Nothing
to
but good things to
about
say
him.
about him. Yeah. So he's definitely in the mix.
Yeah.
They are. They're definitely in the mix. So, but there's short distance, short duration travel for them. Lower court legal stuff kind of goes well for them. It's very, very good energy actually for Scorpios. And I got to tell you, Scorpios had a real challenge the last 2 years with Saturn squaring their sign. It's been a real challenge for them. So anytime I can go, yeah, things are a lot better for Scorpio, at least over the next 6 weeks or so. I'm happy to be able to say that. For Sagittarians, it's about how much money can you spend in a 6-week period is really what it gets down to. Mars is in your second house of money, and it's nickeled and dimed to death. This is not a matter of, I get opportunities to make more money. This is more along the lines of, I get opportunities to spend more money. And that's a crummy thing, because it's not like, look, I'm buying myself a really nice watch or, diamond ring or something like that. It's like, oh, great, I get to put a roof on my house.
Yeah.
The kind of stuff that
Right.
you just go, this is terrible. Nobody
Buy
wants
a
to
septic tank.
Yeah, hey, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what that energy is. So, and it's just every time you turn around, it's $50 here, $100 there. I would wait to fix stuff for Mercury to go direct, is
Okay.
what I would do. But if it's your car and you got to get to work, you're kind of stuck with it. So,
But it looks like my landlord's gonna
Let you stay?
Still, till the school year.
nice.
Right around the time, we haven't had that complete yes way it's going to work out, but otherwise I got to kind of look now for stuff. I got to be scouting ahead.
When are you supposed to be out, or?
Well, May's when school's out, so.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh.
that's gives me a little bit more.
This
time.
tells me if you throw a couple of bucks his way, he'll be all for it.
Yeah, well, hey, sure. Yeah, if he's listening.
I'm
to
just
this
saying.
one, I'll fix some more stuff. How
There you
about
go.
that?
There you go.
We can, work
There
out
you
a
go.
deal.
Some more
Right.
swag. There you go.
Crash's handyman service.
There you go. But it is. Sagittarius should spend a boatload of money over the next 6 weeks or so. And my hope is that they get what they pay for.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. For Capricorns, Mars is in their sign, and they're going to be the Robert Conrads of the zodiac. Mars is in their sign for the first time in 2 years, and it's sort of like, go ahead, knock this off my shoulder. Mars in your sign fires you up, and you're not going to let anybody or anything get in your way. So it's very serious energy. They're not going to back. And I got to look at Lenny Fournette. And that guy played that game. He should have been on injured reserve.
Yeah.
He played that game, and I watched him. He'd make the run, and then he'd kind of limp a little bit off, and you could see that he was in pain. But he's really Capricorns don't quit, even when
he
they.
was
He's
doing it too,
playoff
boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was really
He was doing it.
strutting.
Yeah,
Really
well, and
not
he
doing
should
that game.
be. He should be. So I think he'll be back next year too, and he's fabulous. But for Capricorns everywhere, it's a very strong, very heady time for them. It's a good time for them to advance. It's a good time for them to go forward. It's a good time for them to. The things they put in motion may take a good 2 years to play out,
Okay.
but it will work out very, very favorably for the Capricorns. So this is really great energy for them, which kind of scares me a bit about the Saints, because that means they'll be back with a vengeance too. And he'll be
Yeah.
back, and both he and the coach are Capricorns. So
You're talking about James Winston and the Saints. There's so many things that could have scenarios, after Tom Brady makes his decision
yeah.
Yeah.
of how things could go. And it's just,
Yeah. Well, I think Jameis Winston's going to be back with the The Saints,
Okay.
yeah. And I think
All right.
he's going to be a force to be reckoned with now that he could see.
Okay.
So,
All right.
whew. Okay, so that was who? Capricorns. And then, oh, that's it. That's all of them, all 12 signs of the zodiac. So,
All right.
tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac. And so, who are we betting on next week? Do we know?
I don't. I really have this thing. I really like Joe Burrow
Yeah.
quite a bit now because he seems like he had that injury last year. A lot of players wouldn't even be playing right now. He's back playing better than ever. And he's just got this not cockiness about him, this confidence, this leader confidence about him that. You watch all these guys that have been in the league for quite a while on that team saying, that's our guy, that's our leader right there.
Did you notice that I had to laugh because when we started this in January, it's like, wow, there are 5 Leo quarterbacks who are all playing in January.
Yeah.
And all 5 got beat in the last 2 weeks, all 5.
What's
Got
Joe
beat.
Burrow anyway?
Joe Burrow's a Sagittarian.
Sagittarian? Okay.
Yep.
You got the Bengals taking on the Chiefs this Sunday, 3 p.m., and then the 49ers taking on the Rams. Sunday, January 30th, 6:30 p.m.
Going to be great games.
Great game.
I got to tell you, I think Kansas City is going to be in it at the end.
Okay. All right. So, I was just about to ask.
And I'm hoping it's Joe Burrow's, but I'm so worried it's going to be Garoppolo.
Yeah. Well, that means Joe Garoppolo has got this other kid behind him, kind of waiting for him to mess up in a game like this. So
Yeah.
he can come in as well.
Yeah,
So.
but they didn't play him very much this year, did they?
Not much.
No, because the coach of the
49ers, yeah.
loves Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Those guys are like peas and carrots. So, but that's what I think it's going to end up being. I think it's going to be. I think the Chiefs are going to end up playing. I do. I think it's going to be the Chiefs at the end of the day because he's a Virgo and I like Virgos.
Okay. There you go.
So
Star got his
that's
prediction
my
right there.
prediction right there. So,
right,
and then I'm
great.
done because I'm not good with basketball, as we all know.
Hey,
I have to wait for the
still call
lightning.
you and get us. All right, what do you think about this? Odds on this one right here.
Try that March Madness.
All right, we post these every Monday right there in the Crash and AJ blog at 98rock.com. Have a great one, ladies.
Yeah, you too.
Have a good week.
See ya.